What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel, and today we are unboxing from Hasttel Toy and the Grapplers of Gimmicks line. It is the one and only Lord Alfred Hayes. A must-need, a must-have for any Hasbro collector out there. Very, very cool to get this. Mitch over there at Hasttel Toy is definitely making it happen. Always giving us all our wants, all the guys we want, and all the guys we really need for our collection. So always really cool to get guys like this. Of course, we've previously unboxed, I guess, one of his cohorts, as it were, one of his comrades, the one and only Sean Mooney. That was a few weeks back, of course. As you can see here, very, very Hasbro-style packaging. A nice image of Lord Alfred Hayes. Mitch does get some crap on his imaging. I don't think that's bad. I mean, I don't think it's horrible. We do get the real vintage style figure with the artist rendering of the action figure with Tower of London, you know, something kind of fun. Lord Alfred Hayes right here. Hasttel Toy official product. Hasttel Toy and Collectibles. He does include a microphone. And then some people didn't like this, the G logo on the, I don't know if you can see that with the glare, on the blazer there for the Grapplers and Gimmicks, as opposed to the WWF logo, which they would have had before. I mean, obviously they can't do that, so I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Again, differences of opinion. I do know this, I believe, is the exact same body as Sean Mooney, but to me that didn't matter. I was perfectly fine with it because why not? You know, like we want to get Alfred Hayes in the collection. This is the way to do it. So I dig it. I dig it the most. Of course, we got the artist drawing here. We got a couple of different collectibles. Lord Alfred Hayes, Jacques Rougeau from the Quebecers, which is interesting. Downtown Bruno, a.k.a. Harvey Whippleman, and Coco Ware, a.k.a. Coco Beware. And then, of course, the rundown of everyone kind of involved with making this happen. Came out in 2024, as we know. Got a QR code if you're interested. Mitch always out there turning and burning. I know, I believe there's talk of getting these guys in tuxedos as well, kind of more like the pay-per-view appearance, as it were. Haven't heard anything on that in a while. I do know there was also talk for a while there about a Regium line with the Godwins being the first releases where they're going to be kind of a 6 to 7 inch articulated, almost elite style scale figure. Haven't had any updates on that in a while either. Now, by the time this comes out, there's a possibility there's an update. But again, I know everything in the world's a little bit different right now as far as importing goods and costs and everything. So I think it's got everybody a little frazzled, a little unsure, which is to be expected, I would say. I guess time will tell on that. That doesn't mean it's not happening, just maybe not happening right now. But I guess we'll get an update when there's an update to be had, as it were. But Mitch is over there turning and burning, man. He's doing a lot of good stuff. I recently picked up an Oz from him, which is never one I thought would happen ever. I really thought Mattel would have tackled that before, an independent creator. But yeah, we have an Oz figure now. He has the cape. He's got the old man head. It's awesome. I got it right over here, actually. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that sooner rather than later, because that's just an amazing figure. But retros, man. Retros are crazy. There's so many retros right now. I do feel like we are going to start to experience retro fatigue. I think that's a real thing. And I don't want it to necessarily happen, but I feel like with so many guys doing these, and so many different iterations of retro-style figures, it's going to start to happen where people are like, ugh, I'm done with that. And I guess time will tell. You know, so my advice, if you don't want that to slow down, then, you know, keep, you know, picking up what you can. I know there's a lot of people out there doing the same thing, so that does make it difficult. But like I said, I do pick up a lot of stuff, but it's hard to pick it all up. It really is. So one thing that we had the same issue here with Sean Mooney and Kurt Fuller, who also had a similar body. The microphone's a little loose in the hand. I don't like that. I wish they could maybe make the microphone handle a little bit bigger to slide in there, because it is easy to fall right out. But that's my only real complaint. Of course, we got that blazer. We got the brown shoes, the you know, kind of tan khaki colored pants. Do have articulation at both arms, at the head, and at the waist, which I thought was interesting, because they could have easily not done that. They could have easily made that all one piece. It might have been a little cheaper, other than the fact that they already had the molds made. Of course, nice look at the back there. And I'm just dropping a microphone everywhere. It does stand up nice and good, which is nice. If you saw Wednesday's video, which was all about the Total Justice Green Lantern, he did not want to stand up well. And that is always frustrating when you're trying to do a video. When when it's something you have just in your own personal collection, it's not as big a deal. But when you're trying to do a video, it can be a little bit frustrating. But Lord Alfred Hayes looks good, man. I believe his first ever figure. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I know the only other one that might have been able to do it was what's it called? It was Classic Superstars, but I don't think they did. But please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to go off memory here, as I usually do. But we recently had Sean Mooney show up in the Big Rubber Guys. I did order that, so I'll have Sean Mooney coming. I'm kind of curious if we'll get a Lord Alfred Hayes in the Big Rubber Guys. I think that would be a lot of fun. And who knows what else, you know. I know there's also another line out there that's pretty fun. Is the Matt Maniacs line from the Nerd Closet. And I could see they signed Paul Ellering and Earl Hebner, 2 non-wrestlers. I wouldn't mind to see Sean Mooney and Lord Alfred Hayes in that style, or a guy like Todd Pettengill somewhere in there. I think that would be a lot of fun. Characters that they could get, obviously. Those, again, are almost Hasbro style, but they're also their own thing, which I also think is a good thing. I think doing something like that is fun. It's different, it's unique, and it adds a nice element to what the collectors want. Something different, something fun. And I think that's important. And you got to keep people guessing and keep them having fun. And I think with toys, it's always interesting because people could be all in on a line and then just without warning be like, yeah, I'm done with that. Don't want it anymore. On to the next thing. Because I think sometimes that happens. Like, here's a good for instance for me. I haven't bought anything Ninja Turtles in quite a while. Not that I'm over the line or anything like that. NECA didn't really interest me. Super 7 hasn't interested me in a while. I have a bunch to unbox here, but I haven't bought any new in a while. But I recently saw that McFarlane has the new Page Punchers Ninja Turtles coming, and they're about 4 to 5. They're about 5 to 6 inches, I would say. They include a comic book. They're based off the IDW comic book that came out several years ago. I think they look amazing. They're totally different than anything I've ever collected Ninja Turtles wise, but I'm like, wow, those look really good. And it really makes me want to get those. And they're about $25, so they're a little on the pricey side, but I mean pretty average as far as action figures are considered. Certainly cheaper than Super 7 or NECA. And I'm like, you know what? I think I want to get those. And now I'm like all in. When I saw them initially at SDCC, I had very little interest, but now as time has gone, I'm like, okay, I do want those. So it's interesting how that happens. So it's always something to keep in mind with collecting. Things kind of do go cyclical, and they change, and it's always different at times. Something will be popular one minute and then not popular the next. So you never know. Everybody's time will come, as it were. But all in all, I'm still digging the retros. I think they're a lot of fun. I think Lord Alfred Hayes is a fun addition to the line. And I'm still all in on Grapplers and Gimmicks. What about you guys? Do you guys still collect Grapplers and Gimmicks? Do you still collect retros in general? I know Mattel's still pumping out some retros. They recently put out a new 4-pack with Bobby the Brain Heenan, Ultimate Warrior, King Harley Race, and Virgil, which is a pretty fun set. Virgil, of course, from his $1 Million Man look. Ultimate Warrior from his Intercontinental title reign. And he actually includes the Intercontinental title, which is fun. Never been done in that style before. King Harley Race with the crown and a cape, which is amazing. And a Bobby the Brain Heenan, which, you know, we got that Epic Toys Bobby the Brain Heenan, but never a Bobby the Brain Heenan officially from Mattel or Hasbro back in the day. So very, very cool stuff. Again, all these are fun. It kind of depends on what you're into at the time. You know, I think the Mattel retros, they initially were like, what, $45 a box? Now they're up to $65 a box. So they're going up in price, but I think they're also very much cheaper than what the other companies are charging. So they're staying within that realm. It is what it is at times. But what do you guys think of Lord Alfred Hayes? I think he's pretty cool. I think it's cool to get these. I think Mitch is giving us characters we never would have expected. Guys like Quang, guys like Jean-Pierre Lafitte, both of those are coming up on the channel. He got Rick Martel, which was shocking. A lot of people never expected to see Rick Martel again, and that's happening. We also got Rick Martel coming in the Big Rubber Guys. How cool is that? Very excited about that. Lots of fun characters. Damien Demento, I got that one coming up. Like, that's like, what? Who would have thought? T.L. Hopper, he's coming up. It's crazy to think the characters we can get in these lines. And that's what makes it fun to me, is getting all these fun, unique, different characters. Hasbro style. A lot of different people are making it happen. We're also seeing a lot of companies doing the same character, and I feel like in time that will start to hurt business for everybody. There's certain characters I don't need everybody to get. You know, I don't need of everybody, so I could see that limiting certain people. I guess time will tell on that, and people might be like, you know what, I'm good. I don't need that one, so we shall see. But let me know in the comments down below if you picked up Lord Alfred Hayes, or if you're all in on retros, or if you have retro fatigue. Let me know. And, of course, check out my other unboxing videos. I do 3 unboxing videos every single week. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm not producing as much as a lot of people, but I do try to produce a decent amount of videos. Of course, on Monday this past week, I dove into the Big Rubber Guys once again with Robert Gibson from the Rock and Roll Express. That was on Monday. On Wednesday, I dove into Turtles of Grayskull's Raphael. Very, very cool. Always fun to get the Turtles He-Man style, as it were. And then on Friday, it was Playmates Toys Power Rangers Reignition, the Red Ranger. Very, very fun. And then this week, if you've missed any of the videos, Monday was Masterverse's Fisto, which was really fun. Kind of the new Eternia style Fisto. Very, very cool figure. That was on Monday. On Wednesday, I dove into Green Lantern from the Total Justice line from Kenner. And then, of course, today on Friday, it has been all about Lord Alfred Hayes. So very, very cool stuff. Very cool figures. Always a lot of fun. So check all those out. Also check out Tales of the Toy Box, dropping once a month. Doing a deep dive into a specific toy line from the past. This last episode, episode 5, was all about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Series 1. So check that out. Also check out What's on the Pegs. I do a different video I'm about to say a different toy hunt video. That's a better way to describe it. A better toy hunt video every week. Out there, what I'm finding. Always looking at different stuff. Always seeing what's out there at the stores, whether at Walmart, Target, an independent toy shop, what have you. Always doing those, so check that out every Saturday. And, of course, the TB Toycast podcast, that's our flagship show. We have a different episode every Thursday. We do a different main event, diving into a specific toy line, as well as talking all the news and happenings in the toy world that particular week. So check that out as well. Over 200 episodes and counting. So we're doing a lot of fun stuff over there on the TB Toycast podcast. And also check us out on TikTok, TB Toycast. Some really fun stuff. I'm basically just showing old toys and as a full series, and just different ones from Thundercats to Masters of the Universe to G.I. Joe to Transformers. A lot of cool stuff. So check those out as well. Thank you all very much for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That is your lordship, the one and only Lord Alfred Hayes from Hasttel Toy. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.